received unqualified audit without any findings, 25% unqualified with findings, and 93% of SETAs submitted financial statements timely. It was important from the report by the Auditor General that some of the SETAs whom we've taken action against in the recent month found themselves dominating the report of the Auditor General of South Africa, ranging from a whole range of financial mismanagement. And in fact, two of those SETAs had even went on to take the Auditor General of South Africa to court to challenge the findings. But beyond these performance indicators, which are an important reflection of how the system is performing, we must also say that there has been significant, with 82% of spend directed to Black-owned businesses, which is beyond a target of 70% that we had set ourselves, 49% to women-owned, 30.6% to youth-owned, and 57.3% to small, medium, micro enterprises, and the target was 30%. Yes, we'll have to look deeper in terms of our performance for businesses that are owned by people who are marginalized or with disabilities and so on and so forth. But we think that in the overall, our department has done well in terms of economic empowerment. In terms of financial discipline, about 136.7 billion spent and a 99% expenditure rate. We have received an unqualified audit opinion with findings, and the University Education Program, which represents over 80% of our budget, achieved an unqualified outcome, which demonstrate fiscal stability and also control. During this financial year, the department planned 94 performance target and achieved 46, which is a 49% achievement rate. Yes, this has to be further unpacked, but also this story has to be changed with time. This outcome is obviously, as we say, concerning, particularly in the final year of the 2019-2024 medium-term strategic framework. It calls for a comprehensive review of our implementation strategy and operational design to identify the root causes of our underperformance and correct them decisively. The AG made several observations that must now guide our reform agenda. The AG cautioned against the removal of key performance indicators that capture strategic impact and found that the department has not implemented adequate internal controls to safeguard the integrity of reported achievement. Yes, we have this number of students, for instance, in the DHET sector, but if we cannot concretely account for those students, that obviously brings a mockery in terms of our performance numbers as it relates to them. Those are some of the things that we need to change. So we're going to strengthen oversight in terms of the finding. We're going to strengthen leadership and accountability, within the system to ensure that, beyond the Director General, everyone within the system is, able to take cognizance of their role in ensuring that we meet the expectations, the financial expectations as stipulated in the PFMA and various other legislation. Our response, obviously, given all of these challenges, is that we have to respond decisively. And this includes initiating comprehensive internal control improvement plan that will strengthen data integrity and performance monitoring. And I think the instructive part is around, filling up vacancies in the department, with some people having acted for more than 2, some to 3 years, that we are, fixing that to make sure that the right people are in the right position so that they're able to do what is expected, and also to improve the capability of the department to deliver. And in fact, we have an ambitious plan of ensuring that we fill up all the more than 600 vacancies that are there in the department by the end of the first quarter of 2026. We've also begun redefining performance indicators, which is a concern the AG has raised, and the technical indicator descriptions to ensure that there is precision and alignment in terms of our outcomes. It has to be clear what the role of our department and its various entities. And in fact, I think the one department with the most entities compared to any other department in government. So, we have to make sure that all of those perform, but also we have to make sure that we become clear and descriptive in terms of how we, support all of these entities. Some of the recommendations from our DG and DDGs includes, programs around building capacity of managers where there are issues around audit, but also to enhance the oversight and performance monitoring unit to verify evidence before submission. As the department, the department is aware that much is yet to be done, and though not exhaustive, we developed an implementation plan to fill up vacant posts, as I said, and to improve our dated and compromising system, but also to sharpen our oversight role on PSET entities. 2 months ago, I outlined 5 strategic pillars for turning around the sector, which included economic renewal, a green, just transition, building public sector capacity, research and innovation, and also social inclusion. The annual report confirms that aligning the department's work to these pillars is the right course. In the year ahead, we will intensify efforts to build an integrated, functional, and accountable PSET system, not through fragmented interventions, but through structural alignment, capable leadership, and a culture of performance integrity. And our priorities will be to ensure that we build a fit-for-purpose department and improve on some of the areas where we've been doing quite well in order to meet the needs and expectations of the sector. We have to strengthen governance. We also have to ensure the accuracy of our data and credible evidence, but also non-negotiable accountability. Finally, we have to protect public funds at all costs and ensure that we enforce consequences where wrongdoing occurs. And I think the AG did not mince their words when they instructed where consequences have to be managed to show that we're serious about correcting some of the anomalies that we have identified. Our PSET system must inspire confidence among students, staff, partners, and importantly, the public. Through transparent reporting, ethical leadership, and measurable delivery, we will rebuild trust and ensure that higher education and training remains a cornerstone of South Africa's transformation development. The future of our nation depends on it. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much, Minister. Are there any questions in the room to the Minister's statement? No questions? Okay, there's a question there. Please introduce yourself and the media house you represent.
I'm from MDNtv. Minister, so every time we have these briefings from different departments, the people involved, the principals involved mention all of these things that we've done, the shortcomings, etc. But when we ask them, is their department failing them? Because you list a lot of things that are affecting a very important sector. You mentioned that you have the most entities in government and that sort of thing, and you see what's playing out at Fort Hare because of the issues that are there. But I'm going to ask anyway, it feels a lot like the department, and obviously you've just come in, but saying that as well, feels a lot like the department is failing. Can we read it as that? Because you name a lot of concerning things and a lot of systemic things that have been happening that need to be changed. And then just in the filling of the more than 600 vacancies, what is the staff complement in general, just to know what the 600 is being compared against? And then can I come back to more questions?
Okay, let's take other hands. there any? Okay, no other questions. Okay, maybe online. Are there any questions online? Nothing online. Okay, Minister.
Okay. So one of the first things that we did, and we had the press conference here on the I think 19 days into office, and we said that the first thing that we have to do is to fix the department, and and from there the AG's report confirmed that that there are challenges in the department. The major challenge is not even that you don't have the right people in place, is that you don't have people in place. And I think the report that the initial report that we received from the administration, the one person next to you is our DDG Corporate Services. She'll tell you how much of a big fight we've had with her and all the DDGs around the vacancy rate, which is anything around 40% at this rate. And this is, we have, what's the total staff component? I think we, yeah.
Thank you, Minister.
Yeah. Yeah. So but these are positions that are crucial for the system to work. I mean, it's positions that include government information officer. It's which has been vacant for quite some time, which we have put measures in place to fill that up. In order to ensure that the systems integration. We need to know what's happening at our universities, at our TVET colleges, with NSFAS, with our CETAs, and there's so you need to coordinate. And if you cannot coordinate that at a centralized level, which is at higher education department, then you're going to fail. And so those are some of the priorities that we've put into place. I've never spoken to you about this before. So I hope this forms a baseline within which, me and you can assess each other over time as to whether are we getting, the leadership in the department to act. And I'm very confident that we, are going to, to succeed. I think the other challenge has been that we've had an acting CFO for some time. It's not out of failure to recruit. We've tried that, but we're much more determined now, to make sure that we fill that post. But even with an acting CFO, we're submitting our financials on time. There's a huge improvement, for instance, with performance of TVET colleges. I think now the numbers has increased from 5 to about 12, which has clean audits. The same applies with our CETAs. There have been some improvements. So yes, there are, so even though there are certain things that we need to fix within the department, various components of the system have been, on overdrive. And I think once we fix some of the challenges in the department, and also once we acknowledge some of the good work, that has been done by the officials in the department, and embrace those and acknowledge those, I think we will be, moving towards the right direction. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, please.
Sola Sholana from News from Africa. I've got two questions for the minister. I'm not sure. Okay, firstly,
I would like to understand who is leading the investigation into the current incident that we saw in Fort Hare, and also how far has it progressed, right? And I also want to, understanding that some of the students, from what we've seen on TV, have been complaining about the current Vice Chancellor at the school. I'd like to know from the Minister, are you confident in the current leadership of the university?
Thank you. You would like to take another bite? Please go ahead.
Again from DHET, maybe also just on the 48, what is the status of the Vice Chancellor's picture? Can get clarity on that, because there are reports that the DP has signed a contract extension, but I think the university said that's happening there. And then just back to the issues around the governance and the leadership. How costly has it been to have governance that maybe, or people in charge that maybe are not the ideal candidates? And also, can we get an update on the filling of the university councils and people on that? Because I believe that there might be, not all positions might be filled. And again, just how costly it has been to not have all the universities with all the councils filled.
Any other questions before I invite the Minister to respond?
So, with regards to Fort Hare, who's investigating? South African Police Services, and I had a lengthy discussion with the MEC of police and also with the Premier of the province, and government has been government at the provincial level has been in contact with the university. The Vice Chancellor, with his management, have had intense and constant engagement with the police. And it's quite unfortunate that even with the presence of police, we had 7 buildings being scorched. So police are investigating that. But in general, I think we need to, as I said, have a discussion as a sector around whether have we lost confidence in some of the conflict resolutions mechanisms that are in place, or is it generally a reflection of failure in terms of governance? This matter, I don't know how many times the university and student leadership had to rush to court to find a conclusion on some of the points. I mean, the SRC president and some of the student leaders up to about 2 a.m. this morning, were calling me about because they've secured a legal judgment. And when you go everywhere else in the sector, we seem to have outsourced our conflict resolutions mechanism to the courts, in the CETAs, in colleges, and so on and so forth. So that's a question we need to ask ourselves as to, shouldn't we relook at how we intend to resolve conflict? And I think that's a priority area. So even if we bring in police and everybody else, if students are, in distress, if university management rely on security to resolve conflict, we're not going to resolve, anything. We're going to see all of these things, happening. And I must say that in many instances, university leaders, and in this case, I include not just vice chancellors, students, union leaders, and so on and so forth, have shown a greater level of cooperation in resolving conflict, except in some of these, specific areas that we've mentioned. Yes, the first thing that I was one of the first few things I was inundated with was the Fort Hare stakeholders writing letters about not just the condition on campus, but also their concerns about, their confidence on the Vice Chancellor. We have sent teams twice as the department to the university to investigate. On Tuesday, after some few days when we've been trying to meet. We were supposed to meet, and unfortunately we couldn't with the University Council. But the point is that the University Council employs vice chancellors, and they have to, be the ones that respond to the concerns that the stakeholders within campus, have about the vice chancellors. This morning, I wrote to the chair of the council, subsequent to our meeting yesterday, and one of the things that I asked them to reflect on, as I say in the statement, is the fact that concerns have been raised, by almost everyone on campus around the vice chancellor and generally governance issues on campus, and that it is probably something that they have to reflect on as council as to how are they going to take all stakeholders along if they want to move forward. The future of the vice chancellor, that's up to the University Council, but as I said, I've asked them to respond to specific issues and allegations relating to, and they have responded to those. And I'm looking at their responses, and in the course of the week, we will, give them, a much more fuller response to their report. We have filled almost all of the council vacancies that were there. If there are any, I think it would be one or two of those, and also it would be because of this or that, administrative glitch and so on. But our objective was to fill up all of those because they were, yes, affecting governance. If you don't have a university council in place, it means that you can't take decisions to appoint a vice chancellor or any of those other important decisions that university councils have the responsibility to do so. And that's why this was one of the agent measures, not only just councils at universities, but also at TVET colleges, and similarly with our sector education and training authorities, CETAs, who have acted swiftly to ensure that we restore governance. Governance is important, and I think the collapse of governance is, what has led to some of the challenges in some of our institutions. I have indicated to chairpersons of university councils, of TVET college councils, also chairpersons, incoming chairpersons of sector education and training authorities, and chairs of various of our entities, that I'd like to see them play an important role because they steer the governance, the overall governance, component of our institutions. And I'm going to be having more conversations with them because, the failure or success of our institutions lies with how successful they are able to maintain oversight and also provide strategic leadership to the institutions that they lead. So this is obviously going to be one of our major priorities. Thank you. I hope that responds to the questions.
Okay. Any other questions, please? Okay. Questions online.
Thank you, myself. There's only one question from the Honorable Rihanna, but the question is partly answered on the issues of the Vice Chancellor, but I will just take a liberty of presenting the whole question, and it reads as follows. Can the Minister clarify if indeed the Vice Chancellor contract was extended until 2027, amid reports that it was done secretly? And in Minister's opinion, who does this atrocious act ultimately benefit? Thanks.
Okay. Any other question in the room? Oh, yes. ENCA.
I'm sorry, maybe my the final round, maybe just on the VC again. Should the VC go, given that happiness around him? And then again on the council and the leadership, in terms of the criteria, are we satisfied with the criteria used to nominate to bring in the council leadership?
Okay. All right. I mean, I don't know how many times I can say this, but I'm going to say it as many times as possible because I think it's also an opportunity for us to get to understand what are the intricacies of what's involved. The employment between the university and the vice chancellor is governed by the university statute and is determined, or the terms and conditions of that employment is entered between the university council and the said vice chancellor. And I think it's up to the university council as to what happens to a vice chancellor, not according to a minister. If I were to be given that powers for 26 universities, imagine what would happen. And so those councils are responsible according to the university statute. I had a discussion yesterday, as I said, with the University Council of Fort Hare, and I've expressed to them that consistently the teams from the department have heard from the different stakeholders around their concerns, around generally issues of governance in the institutions, including but not limited to the role of the vice chancellor. And I've asked them to reflect on that, and as part of their discussions on what should happen with the academic year, concluding the academic year 2025, they also have to devise a strategy on how they're going to take everyone along, including the vice chancellor, in that conflicting situation. I will later in the week give them a response on the report that they gave me, but not just on what they gave me. We had a task team that went in there. In fact, not just this week, but over time. Some of it raised from concerns from Parliament, and so on and so forth. So it will be on the basis of that response that we will indicate what we believe, should be the way forward. Yes, the council is finally responsible, and I think if I've had anything from them yesterday, they would be committed to give us a report on what their plan of action would be after their meeting tomorrow. Okay.
Thank you, Minister. I think there are no more questions in the room, so we can adjourn the media briefing. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you. There are refreshments